Hello, everyone. We are again here on this YouTube live with Coach Saeed, who is growth mindset coach, helping people to achieve the growth mindset they require to achieve the success in their life, in their professional life, especially. Uh, Saeed, today we are going to discuss about a very important aspect, right? And this is something which make people do things and also uh, becomes a blockage, a big blockage when it comes to achieving their own desired goals. And I'm talking about, okay, before I let out the subject for the day, let me share one story or share something. I have seen, let's say there is a home and they clean their home only when there are guests supposed to come. Okay, so they clean everything in and out, and they put everything, they organize everything when there supposedly there are some guests coming to home. And then there are some people who keep their home organized, because they like it on their own. So what are the chances that majority of the cases or majority of the times whose home will be more organized? I'm sure answer is obvious of the second group of people who do it for themselves, right? Uh, so today we are going to discuss about fear of judgment. So at times it can make people do things like the first example. They keep things organized because they have this fear of judgment. But does that really work? So let's hear from Coach Saeed. What it is and how people can overcome it, and what is wrong in it. So, Said, what is fear of judgment?
Well, Arif, thank you. Thank you for the story that you shared. Actually, you know, all fears are not actually bad. Some of them are good. Because when you are afraid of something, you work hard to achieve that or to conquer that. Like a student studying for the exam so that he can excel in that exam. That's fine. But then, if you have made it a habit, and if you have made it a habit to be afraid of everything, then it's a problem. So the fear of judgment is basically a whisperer who's talking in your mind all the time. For everything and anything that you try to do, it'll appear dark and it'll ask you questions like, why are you doing this? What will they think? What if you go wrong? What if you fail? Are you going to make fool out of yourself? What if people laugh at you? Have you ever done this before? So this is basically you are craving or you or got used to some kind of a validation. Okay. So this fear of judgment is basically an intense worry, which is leading to anxiety about what others will perceive you as. Okay, so you are worried about how people are going to see you as, and in the process, you end up putting a fake picture of yourself just to impress others, but which you are not. So in the long run, it is it's not going to serve you. It's not going to serve you, and you can't live with it even because it is going to stop you at every stage. So at every stage, your choices, your behavior, lives, your everything will depend on what others will think, and that's not a good place to be. So this fear is basically it is something that's holding you back, and it's within you, but it just has gone out of control.
That's true, Saeed. And what I feel most of all, it feels draining when we are doing something for others. Okay, or uh, just the thought of it drains me. right? That I'm doing something for somebody else or what they are thinking, or just to
Just to please others.
please others. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, where does it come from? Like, is there a point from which it
See,
generates? How does it happen?
see what happens is that we are in our system, in our social system, we are all conditioned basically. Like when you are a child, you have a school system which rewards only the fitting in. You should fit into that system. Only then you are rewarded. Okay. You have to do only what all other 100 students in your class are doing. Only then you are rewarded. Like you are asked a question. Okay. There may be 100 ways to answer that, but you must answer exactly the way it is given to you by your teacher or the way it is given to you in the textbook. You have to write the same words, same sentence. Basically, you
That
have to copy and paste.
that's huge. I kept listening it when I was in school, and I keep listening it when my children are in school, and they come and tell, "Okay, okay, teacher said this."
So
If you have to get full marks, you have to write exactly what was told to you.
if you try to be creative, if you bring in some new words into it, if you write your idea, then chances are you will get less mark. And if the worst, if the teacher is tough, maybe they will even fail you. It happened to my children. So
Exactly.
we are all conditioned. We are all conditioned to fit in. Similarly, we are all conditioned in the familial uh, environment that you are supposed to behave in a certain way. You are supposed to say certain things in a certain way. Okay. So this is all coming from there that ultimately you have to meet others' expectations. You have to do and say things according to what others are expecting you of. Okay. So you can't just pivot. Okay. So uh, it is also that when you do that, your brain and your social system has told you that you have made a mistake. Just because you try to be different, you have made a mistake. Okay. So the same thing goes even in the workplace. In the workplace, there may be procedures and policies which are running for donkey's years. Things have changed. You can do it better, but you have to follow the same thing. And if you try to pivot, then what happens is your boldness is discouraged or even penalized. So again, you are conditioned. So this and the worst yet, in today's world, we have a social media. In a social media, somebody who's not nothing to do with you, who's not at all related to you, can call you names, can troll you, can judge you, can do anything because you try to come up with a new idea or you have new thought or a new opinion. So we are all basically conditioned. That's where it is coming from. So whenever you try to be different, you are forced to go back to that shell.
True that, Saeed. So let's come to working professionals.
Yeah.
So how does it express? How is it expressed in working professionals? If somebody has this fear of judgment, how will it show up?
See, what happens in a working environment is that everything is time related. Time is like money, and I have heard a billion times, and it is true that a decision is important. Okay, you may make a right decision, and sometimes you make a wrong decision, but decision is important. It is very important to take within the time because if you have done it within the time, you still have time to recover if you have made a wrong decision. But if you have delayed your decision itself, then finally make a wrong mistake, wrong decision, then you lost everything. So decision within time is very important. So what this fear of judgment does is that it makes you procrastinate, it makes you overthink, it makes you uh, delay everything. Uh, you have an email sitting in your inbox and you will take days to answer it because you are thinking about it. You have a presentation to make and you are correcting and correcting and correcting it. And finally, when you go into a presentation, you are not ready with it. Okay. And anything, every single decision, uh, you are worried about how it is perceived. Similarly, in a work environment, we all get opportunities to progress. We all get opportunities to present our true selves or opportunity to excel. And what happens is that whenever you have that opportunity to present or speak up in the meeting, uh, you have that valuable inputs with you, you have that right information with you, but you still say nothing. You spend all the meeting hour thinking of saying, but you will never say because you fear the judgment. But what if I say and people laugh at me? What if I say and my boss says it's wrong? Why did you even do it? Okay. So this hesitation applies to everybody. It is not that it only happens at the lower level. It even happens at the managerial level. You may have a brilliant idea, but you still hold because you think it may not be right. Or what happens if I say that? And what happens if the boss gets angry with you? So what happens is, at the end of the day, you will let others' opinion supersede your own opinion. You will let others say things before you because you want to be safe. Okay, let everybody say what they want to say, then I will say. So by the time maybe 10 people have already said what you want to say, then whatever you say is useless now because it has lost its intensity. So you readily agree to others' point of view, okay? Because you have no choice but to agree to others' point of view because whatever you want to say, people have already said it. Or you may do it because you want to avoid conflict, you don't want to be laughed at or questioned at, or you are afraid of that judgment. So in a professional world, basically, it is really pushing you back. I mean, if you could stay where you stay, still it is good. But this fear of judgment is actually pushing you down, pushing you down. For a career-oriented person, it's not good at all.
Yeah, Sayed, and when you were speaking, you reminded me of my, time on the job. And so when I entered into corporate, I was not like that. I would not fear anything at all. Maybe I didn't know what fear was. But then I started getting some attachment to the job, because there was some earning, some rewards were coming, every month end. So I think that made me fearful of, uh, I, what others will say, and I would start caring about my image, okay, what people think. And I think that for a while it shut me off, it quietened me. Um, so I want to understand from you that if a person, maybe I came into contact with the right kind of people and I had mentors. So I started working on myself with, and I could overcome those challenges. I want to understand from you, what if a professional doesn't overcome this challenge of fear of judgment and he lives life in this fear that, okay, what others will say, what others think about him, all that. What is the cost that working professional will have to pay?
Well, your career progress is definitely at risk. It is a huge cost which you will pay because let's say in 5 years you're supposed to reach mid management level, but in 10 maybe it took 10 years for you to go there because every time you wanted to say something you did not say it. Uh, so basically what it does is it keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck in a role which is below your capacity. It is not that you don't have capability. It is not that you don't have that knowledge or you don't have that information. But you have everything. Having everything, you still don't show up. Okay. And when you say your story, it is not that I'm born with it and I have been very timid in my school days and the only thing good thing happened to me or good thing that I realized is when in my first job itself, when I was undergoing this training, that's the first time I realized that this is work, and here I can't be silent. I need to say what I need to say. I need to do what I need to do. It is not that I like it or I don't like it. It is that it's a requirement of the job. So you need to do what you need to do. So that's the thing. So when that doesn't happen, when it is delayed, that means your career is there, your career is pushed. So what happens is you will not unlock yourself. You will still be holding on to that old thing. So your true voice, your true capability doesn't show, and that will reduce your visibility. That will reduce your presence. So you are not seen, in spite of being talented, in spite of being having everything that you need to have to be in to be progressing in career, but still you'll be far behind. So eventually, after some time, now you're trying to say something, but you're already late. So what happened now? You start to compromise your goals, and you will start to believe that others are better than me, and you will keep yourself comfortable in that place, and you will push or you will let others go forward. So what it is doing is it robs you of your self-expression. Okay, and your authentic self is never coming out. It's remaining there. This authentic self which is capable, this authentic self which is competent, this authentic self which has all the knowledge that it requires to be in a better place, it's not coming out. So you become a S person, and this results in burnout, this results in frustration, this results in anxiety, because you have everything that you need to have, but still you're not progressing. You're just allowing others to progress. So it causes burnout, and what happens is it will eventually lead you to a place where you are pushed far behind. That means now you are ashamed of yourself. Okay, so you are ashamed of your underachievement. You will feel angry with yourself. You will become bitter in your communication, in your language. You will start to you will start to hate others, or you will start to envy others' success. So this, now you have reached a real dangerous situation, because now this will impact your relationships, your professional relationship as well as personal relationship. It will reflect on your body. So now you are losing on all ends. All this because you are just not expressing your true self. Now it's very, very important to destroy this and get out of it.
So, Said, does it mean that a person should not worry at all about what others are thinking, what others are saying, and do whatever comes to his or her mind? Does it mean that?
Not necessarily, but often I have read this many places, and I've experienced this also. Like my son, I mean, in the schools, um, he was one of those bright students. Okay, but then he had in the school who were also bright students who used to score well, and it was highly competitive environment. And he used to come and tell stories of other students who does what. And some of the students used to say that they asked such and such silly question. They asked such and such silly question. But actually, what they are doing is they are not asking a silly question. They are not stupid people. They are asking. They are clearing every doubt they have. They are not stupid people, but they're just clearing every doubt they have. Similarly, I have read it many times that if you want to grow in life, if you want to be your authentic self, be stupid. Because if that is how your true self will come out. Okay. So when you do that, not always you are wrong, or not always you are right. Sometimes you're wrong, maybe. Sometimes maybe you're really stupid. But that should not stop you from expressing your true self. That should not stop you from clearing that whatever doubt or whatever clarification you wanted to have. Sometimes your question may look very silly, okay, but that is the answer you need. So you need to get it. So if you stop it just because you think others are going to laugh at it, that means that void is still there in you. How is it going to go? So be stupid. Be stupid. So when like uh, you know, children when they play when they are small, like 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, they do very dangerous things. They walk on the edges. They jump out of windows. They do those things. Yeah. So I mean, I had a very tough time with my son, especially that role. Always hyperactive. Why do they do that? Because they don't know the danger of the other side. They're not worried about it. They don't know what's the danger. So they just do it. So when you are too much worried about danger, you don't do that you're supposed to do, or you don't live your life to the fullest. If you're always worried about the danger. So do it anyway. Maybe you'll make a mistake one or two times, but do it anyway, because otherwise your true self is not coming out, and you're not opening up.
That's true. So it gives an opportunity for a person to improve. So, I remember one of the incidents, and I think I had shared it. Okay, so it was my first company, and my boss's boss want, had some tussle with my boss. Something was going on between them, and so my second line manager, he wanted to, kick this manager out, putting, and he was using my shoulder to use, you know, to do that. So he created some scene, right, and asked me to write a complaint about my boss. Okay, I said I cannot do it. Okay, and I think in the beginning I was, with principles I didn't compromise. Okay, I was like, that kind of person who, who had some principles even in the beginning of my career. And then I said, I won't write any complaint. Okay, if you want to do anything to him, do it yourself. So then he asked me to, you know, he asked me to resign. Okay, if you are not writing for him, you give your resignation. Okay, I did that, and I took my bag, uh, came back home. Next day morning, I had some senses. Maybe God was kind and He guided me, and I called my boss's boss. That, look, I could not do what you were asking me, but I want to do this job. Okay, so he retained me back with the condition that I will not work under him. And it was better for me because now I was working closer to my home. Earlier, I had to drive 50 kilometers and sometimes 100 kilometers every day. Now I was working, within 10 kilometers radius. So, so sometimes when you are authentic, when you speak from your heart, it is better. It gives you better results. So I have a question to you here is that when people fear, they have understood that they have fear of judgment, and this fear is not letting them, uh, work to their best or to reach their potential, highest potential. So how can they overcome it?
No, it's not difficult. It's not a rocket science. One can do it. Only thing one needs some discipline and some courage. Let's start with fear is there. Everybody have even the big CEOs when they go to say something important, there'll be some fear. The thing is that you do it anyway. You be afraid, but do it anyway. So train your mind to rise above this. Train your mind to rise above this. And how do we train your mind? So for anything to do, we need we need a reward. Reward is the best motivator. Okay. So what you can do, you start with first visualization. Okay. Visualize yourself, the the actual you, the the person who is not just. So picture yourself in your boldest form, in your most judgment-free form. Okay. Picture this state. So what happens is this leads to uh, something better than what you're doing. Like you visualize yourself leading, you visualize yourself creating, you visualize yourself being authentic and being expressing, being speaking out, being succeeding in life, being doing the best presentation. You visualize this, feel it, see it, believe it. Okay. So then what happens is this will build confidence in you. This picture of yours, this new you, that's what you want to become. Now that will motivate you, that will inspire you to do whatever it requires to take those steps whenever that opportunity shows up. So let it. I mean, we. I mean, majority of what we do is from our subconscious mind, because our subconscious mind is already tuned because of our previous experiences, because of what people said. Like maybe you are new in the company. For the first time, there was a meeting and there was a presentation, and you went there and you said something, and immediately your immediate line manager called you aside and said, "How can you say this? You just joined yesterday. Who do you think you are to say this?" Said things like this. So what happens now? Your subconscious mind start to believe that I'm not supposed to do this. So if this has happened a couple of times, then this stayed there. This became a reinforcement. Now that's running the show. So we are on tune. So that need to change. So when this changes, when you rewire that subconscious mind, you will see the brighter side, and that will inspire you to pivot whenever there is an opportunity to pivot. Now, next thing is that what we can what we can see, what we can treat it. So name it and tame it. What So name your fear so that you can tame those fears. Okay. So you can write down the moments where you feel you're afraid of others' judgment. You are afraid of that whatever has happened to you in the recent life. Like name the exact thought that came to your mind. Like I was afraid they will think of me as an arrogant person. I was afraid they will think of me as a fool. I was afraid they will judge me for my language. So any limiting belief, anything that came to you that you are afraid that people will judge you like this, write all those things. So what happens is when you write it, now it is visible, it is clear. So what is visible, what is clear, what is present will make you accept it. Because sometimes what we do is we know it, but we don't want to accept it. We know that we fear the judgment. Okay. But at the same time, we push it behind or we hide behind a false assurance that no, actually, I'm not ready for it, so I let it go. So we give ourselves that false narrative. Now that you have written it down, it is clear and it is present right in front of you. So it allows you to accept it. So now you know it. You know that a particular action you have not taken because of this particular fear of judgment. So you tell yourself that you didn't do it because you were. Now you are not going to say you didn't do it because you are busy or you didn't do it because you are not ready. You will not say that you didn't do it because you were not interested. No, the truth is you didn't do it because others you were afraid of what others will say. So once it is visible, once it is so clear, now it is manageable. Now it is treatable. So any like you have a disease and you're hiding it. As long as you're hiding it, you can't take any medicine for it. But if you open it up with a doctor, now he can diagnose you properly and he can give you the right medicine. Similarly, you have fears running in your mind. Make it visible, make it clear, so that you can measure it, so that you can manage it, you can take some action on it. All right. Now, third thing is that this judgment often we take it as a deterrent thing that is bad, right? In fact, it is not all that bad. Because who in the world is 100% right? Nobody. Who in the world is there that he makes every presentation perfect? Who in the world, every time he speaks, it is right? No. People make mistakes. Even the biggest people make mistakes. So redefine this judgment, and instead of taking it as a judgment, take it as a feedback. Take it as it's not a fact. It's not some holy grail. Okay, so take it as a valuable feedback that you wouldn't get otherwise. Like if you keep it to yourself, you're silent. Nobody know it, and nobody told you that it is wrong or right or what is wrong with it. But instead, when you speak it out, people know it now. So people give you. They said it is wrong. This is wrong. That's wrong. This timing is wrong, or that presentation. Whatever it is, they said. That means you have a feedback now. Now you have a chance to improve. Now you can improve. Now you know what areas you can improve. So judgment is basically a reflection of. I mean, there is another side to it. Like people often judge, like a new organization, like you said, uh, a bright student is there, and he joined an organization, and he's fresh, and he has bright ideas. He has dynamic ideas. But this organization and the manager that this gentleman is going to work under is there in the company for a long time, and he has the same old thoughts, old principles, old ideas, the routine that has been happening for years. Now, when this guy goes and presents something new, it's not easy for others to accept. Why? Not because what you present is wrong. It is more because the person who's saying it, under whom you are working, he has certain limitations. Okay, that is a reflection of his own limitations, not yours. So don't be afraid of those limitations of others. Okay, so redefine it. That when somebody judges it, it is doesn't mean that it is you who's wrong or it is who has some limitations. It is a reflection of their limitations, not yours. So you have your own permission to present what you want to present and listen to the feedback and improve upon yourself. This is a big mind shift if one can understand it and adopt it. Because every time you are afraid of being judged, if you tell that this is not my limitation, but it is their limitations, and if you really value yourself and your idea, then things will dramatically change. The thought process is changing here. Okay, so you need to ask every day: you would my future self thank me for not doing what I'm supposed to do? If I keep silent, what would my future self look like? So these questions will make you come out of that shell and do what you're supposed to do. And this whole thing is basically what we are afraid of, or we are we want to avoid that embarrassment. So when you say something or when you present something, and when more than one person, if they say it is wrong or if they make a comment on that, you are afraid of that embarrassment it is causing you in the meeting or in the hall. You need to make friends with this embarrassment. So you need to see this embarrassment uh, as a friend, because again, most successful people, it is not that they were successful overnight. They have all faced failures, not once, not twice, hundreds of times. I mean, we have had numerous examples. Like the Starbucks CEO, he made more than 200 presentations before his idea got bought. Like similarly with KFC, Colonel Sanders, he made more than 1,000 times his business idea he presented before it got accepted. So that means 1,000 times they failed. 1,000 times they were embarrassed for what they said. People laughed at them. People said, "Who's going to buy this?" But they were successful because they were not afraid of the temper. So what you can do is you can bring again a mind shift here, where this embarrassment as a badge of honor. Treat this as your. Um, this is not a threat. This is not your identity. This is your badge of boldness, your badge of audaciousness. That you are able to present it irrespective of what others think and what others say. All right. Now, nothing happens overnight. You need to build it, right? So, in order to build it, you need to take step one, then step two. So, you need to build it step by step. Do small things every day. Do small things every day that invites judgment. Okay. So, maybe you have an opinion. See, you don't have to wait for the big meeting to say it. Say it in front of your colleagues. Say it in front of your friends. Say it in front of your relatives. Because in that environment, you're going to get your feedback. You're going to get your acceptance or rejection or whatever. You you may want to say something. You may want to speak up. You may want to present an idea. Do it. Do it on everyday basis. Do it on every small occasion that you get. You don't have to wait for a big annual event. You don't have to wait for a meeting day or meeting uh, time. So do it at every opportunity at a smaller scale so that you get used to that. You get used to listening to that thing and taking it as a feedback rather than as a criticism, rather than as an embarrassment. Okay. So you visualize yourself that worst case scenario. Okay. And what what maximum can go wrong. So when you have done that, that means you have overlived it. Now it doesn't affect you. And when it happens finally, it doesn't affect you. So this is like an exposure therapy. Any fear for that matter. The best and the only way to get over a fear is to expose to that fear. The more you expose to it, the more easily you will get over it. And it all leads to what our mindset. So we have this something called victory mindset, and this uh, this comes easier when you surround yourself with the right people, right? See, these days everybody is in groups, Facebook groups, this group, that group, communities, and 1,000. Make sure that whatever groups that you are in are useful groups. Make sure that they are meaningful. Uh, you can join masterminds which are uh, which are consists of professionals who are better than you, who are progressive oriented, who who can lead you or who can help you to lead further to become better than what you are today. Like if you are in a room where you are the most smartest, that means you immediately need to change that environment. Or if you are in a room which discuss people, which discuss gossip, you immediately need to change that environment. So be in the good company. Be in the good company. Be in the company of people who discuss ideas. Be in the company of people who discuss progress. Then your journey of progress will become easier for you. Okay. And last but not the least, and like we have said it a million times that uh, we, I mean, you have lived maybe half of your life, like 30, 40 years, uh, doing what you're doing. And now at this stage, maybe you have realized that I did not do things the way I should have done. Now, if you try to do it on your own, maybe it takes long time. Maybe you need to spend another 20, 30 years to get over it. We don't know. But what if you take, if you work with somebody who has done this before? What if you work with somebody who has helped others get over this? What happens is that your period of this learning, your chances of you becoming more successful shortens dramatically. Maybe it takes years for you to do it on your own, but if you work with somebody who's an expert, who has done this before, who has helped others do it, your journey may be cut down to months, not even years. So you will become that will be faster and easier way to be successful and get over this fear. So work with somebody whom you trust, not necessarily that maybe a good friend, maybe a good colleague, maybe a good mentor, maybe a good relative who has got wisdom, or maybe a good coach, whoever it is, whoever you trust, who Basically, he need to be somebody who has done this before. Basically, he need to be somebody who has helped others do this before. He need to be somebody who can see those blind spots which you are not able to see. He should be somebody who is expert in making you realize and enabling you to see those blind spots and take action. So work with somebody so that you free yourself of this free of judgment and be successful. These are the 7 steps. Not very hard to do, but it needs some discipline.
So that's wonderful, Said. And thank you for sharing these steps. I'm sure people who are action oriented and who want to overcome this challenge of fear of judgment, they will certainly will be able to overcome following these steps. Thank you so much. And with this, we you know say goodbye, and we'll see everyone next Friday with another topic, with another issue which affects people, their lives, their professional life. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Saeed. Thank you who have joined uh, this YouTube live. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you, and thank you all. Have a great weekend.